It's a game that I wasn't really expecting to win, but we're going to go ahead, retreat. We could have played down more cards too and made it happen. Let's go Moonlight Blade for the gigantic knockouts. We are going to take that dub against Senor Doom. Well played, homie. Sometimes it doesn't always work.
You are now watching Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it!
Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel, Lesage here. Today we're going to be going over Single Strike Urshifu VMAX. Now I've covered this deck on the channel before, but it has been a little bit of a while, so I am going to cover some of these top decks in the format again. Hopefully you enjoy seeing exactly how these decks play out or whatnot, and really seeing how they've evolved deck list wise. So stay tuned for some awesome gameplay, the list, explanation, all that. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into this deck list. So here we have Single Strike Urshifu VMAX. Now this deck is all about playing different Single Strike Pokemon, but we'll start off with Single Strike Urshifu VMAX because that's really probably the most popular or more powerful one that we have in this deck. So you're able to use G-Max one blow. It's a pretty hefty cost, but we have Energy Acceleration in this deck. Doing 270, you go through anything on your opponent's active Pokemon, maybe a Duraludon VMAX, maybe you can go through a Dauntless Shield Zamazenta V. You have ways to go through anything, and 270 plus some damage modifiers from Single Strike energies mean you're probably knocking out pretty much any Pokemon VMAX. So keep that in mind if you're playing against anything that is not Psychic type. You're probably going to be using Single Strike Urshifu VMAX to use G-Max one blow to knock out their VMAX Pokemon. Now you power up these Pokemon with Houndoom Single Strike Roar. You would put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, but you are able to search through your deck and attach a Single Strike energy to that Pokemon. You also have access to earn a Vitality to get those Single Strike energies back, and that's how this deck really goes. You can see we have a handful of Single Strike Pokemon that we could choose to attack from. So we already went over the Single Strike Urshifu VMAX. Maybe you're using Beatdown, but quite honestly, if you're playing against V Pokemon or maybe a deck that's weak to fighting, you might want to be using Impact Blow to match their prize card output. So 2 prize card Pokemon should typically knock out 2 prize card Pokemon. If a 2 prize card Pokemon knocks out a 3 prize card Pokemon, you're probably putting yourself in a prize card lead. If you're knocking out a 1 prize card Pokemon with this deck, you are putting yourself at jeopardy for your opponent to take a lead on you. So something when you're planning games out, try to pace your Pokemon with your opponent's Pokemon, or beat their Pokemon with lesser prize cards. That's how you're able to conserve your prize cards throughout the game. We also have access to Umbreon VMAX. It's very similar to Boss's Orders. We could bring up your opponent's Pokemon with Dark Signal. So you could switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. That's the reason why we play the copies that we do of this card. It's more efficient at attacking because you're not discarding your energies and all that stuff, but it is it's okay. Umbreon V almost has the same thing as a single prize, or as a 2 prize card Pokemon. Moonlight Blade does the same amount if you have damage counters on yourself, but you get damage counters on yourself with Houndoom. One new thing that we've seen in this deck, or a lot of players have been adding recently, is Morpeko. Morpeko puts for putting 2 Single Strike energies on this Pokemon, you go put 4 damage counters on this Pokemon, which brings it to 120 damage with Explosive Discontent. The plus 20 for each brings it to 160. 160 times 2 knocks out a Mew VMAX or a Mew V. This is a single prize card Pokemon, so this can help give you a little bit of a better Mew VMAX matchup. And also, Houndoom is really not a bad attacker, nor is Houndour, because they do get the Single Strike energies buffed damage output. A couple cool things that I've added into this deck is a copy of Single Strike Scroll of Scorn. If your opponent doesn't quite get the knockout or hits for a 1 hit or something like that, you can drop the Scroll of Scorn and kind of take some more efficient attacks back. Zinnia's is great just because a lot of players are playing large bench sizes. So playing 1 is certainly not a bad reason to play a supporter, just to differentiate from playing 4 copies of Marnie. So the deck overall is just meant to attack with various Pokemon throughout the game, matching prize cards against your opponent's prize cards, and then eventually overcoming them or overcoming them with HP. It's difficult to explain, but you're able to attack relatively quickly because of Houndour, and you have different Pokemon to attack with, whether it's Umbreon or Single Strike Urshifu or even Morpeko. Lots of options when it comes to this deck. Let's see how it works out with some gameplay. So we started off by winning the coin flip. We would like to go first here. Let's see how this game plays out. I mean, really not too bad of a start. We have access to Single Strike Urshifu V, and we have access to Umbreon. Based off more of the metagame, I think either or is fine, but I think Umbreon might just be the best choice for us. So let's go ahead, send up Umbreon, see exactly what we have access to by the end of our turn. and see how this plays out for us. So our opponent's playing Guru. They're probably playing access to, if they're playing Guru, they're playing Mew, or they're playing Sylveon, or they're playing Turbo ZACIAN. So before we do anything, we probably want to pitch one of our single strike Urshifu Vs from play, try to get set up with some more cards. We're going to go ahead and go Great Ball, Umbreon. So we really don't have a lot of attacking potential, but we can put some of these cards down. The thing is, our attacks cost 3 energies. I'll explain this during our opponent's turn. So if we attach an energy, and we have access to Houndoom, like this turn we have access to 1 energy, so now we have 0 energies on board. Next turn we have access to 2 energies. So when we're going through these energy requirements, we have to understand what is available to us during our turn. So right now we could use Mean Look as our only attack that's available. Laser Focus, we don't play any basic fighting energies in this deck in order to use it. So you got to scale your attacks accordingly. That's why getting Houndour down on your first turn is so important. Some players, instead of Great Ball, do play Battle VIP Pass, but I find that those cards are not necessarily super helpful during the late game. To go against our opponent's Zamazenta V, we do have access to the single strike Urshifu VMAX, so that's something that could be important. So as this matchup becomes a little bit more prevalent, playing more single strike Urshifu V VMAX might be the better play. We'll have to see how it plays out throughout the entirety of the game, but we got to get through Dauntless Shield somehow. We could get through with our V Pokemon or our VMAX or our single strike Urshifu VMAX. They do have 2 energies, so they are able to attack us the next turn potentially. We do got to keep that in mind as we play throughout this game. So let's go with evolving this. There's no reason not to evolve that. I think we probably do want to go for a Mean Look against our opponent's Oranguru. I think that sounds like a pretty good call overall. I am going to go ahead here. We do need to get set up a little bit more, so I'm going to go Great Ball first. The Houndoom doesn't really help us too much, but we are going to pitch away the single strike Scroll of Scorn here with our Tower of Darkness, trying to get set up. We could also just go single strike Roar first to take an extra energy out of our deck. So if our opponent does have an air balloon or something like that, we will try to get set up. Not really too much going on here. Like, I don't want to pitch this hand away, but I think we're going to be forced to try to find more Houndours. So again, we are struggling to find the Houndour. Let's go Great Ball. Might as well grab Crobat because we currently don't have a lot of reasons to be doing anything else otherwise. We could go hit the Zamazenta for 30, but they could just go Crystal Cave that away. I think right now at this point, it might just be better for us to go Mean Look here for 30 and not attaching the energy. We could have attached the energy there too. That might have been a little bit better. It's just like, if our opponent gets a switch and knocks us out, we probably just lose this game anyways. If they don't have switch energy, we're probably okay. Because then we could go ahead and go Max Darkness plus 3 single strike energies, knock out this ZACIAN V. So we're really hoping that they don't find switch in any capacity and that they just have access to Air Balloon. They might just go ahead and go for Intrepid Sword. The other thing that we have to hope for, there's the energy. Come on, don't have it. It's always that waiting game. You never know if they're just like holding on to it, trying to figure out exactly what they're trying to do. There's their Crystal Cave, taking out our Tower of Darkness. And we do have access to, we will be able to get the knockouts. So if they didn't get 2 energies on there, I totally would have left this one there to have access to attack with the Zamazenta V. We are going to go ahead here and evolve this one first. So let's go Single Strike Roar, build up an energy onto this Pokemon. We're going to go ahead and attach a Single Strike energy here. We're going to bring up our opponent's ZACIAN V, because again, we're doing 220. So we're going to take a 3 prize card Pokemon out of contention. Let's go ahead here, go Great Ball. There's another Houndour. Those are the cards that we're looking for. I don't know if Morpeko is going to be super helpful in this particular matchup, just because it doesn't really have staying power and getting knocked out. So I think I'm going to end up pitching that one away. So let's pitch this away, trying to get set up with more cards in general. Our opponent has a relatively large hand. Let's play Marnie to lower their hand size, maybe getting another Houndour if we have the opportunity to do so. I'm completely fine if we take away one of these capture energies to get another Houndour, because again, Houndour will allow us to get set up. And if they do not get a Houndour, we could be in a tough spot. And capture energies, we can only attach once per turn anyways, so it doesn't really matter. There's Max Darkness, there's a knockout, and we're up on prize cards. Our opponent's going to be forced to send up their ZACIAN V, and I think we're in an okay spot. If they decide to put another one down, we don't even have to worry about the Zamazenta. So we'll see how they play it out. They might just go with Guru while they're trying to get set up, because we just had a massive turn against them. So even though we had a slow setup, we were able to play around things to try to have a better opportunity against our opponent. If they don't get a Cape of Toughness down here, they need Cape of Toughness and an energy to be able to survive our Max Darkness attack. Because otherwise, we just have to go through this one Pokemon throughout the rest of the game. So, again, hoping they put another ZACIAN V down. Because then we don't need to worry about the Dauntless Shield at all. So our opponent unfortunately made that mistake. We don't need to worry about what they have going on. We just have to worry about knocking out one of their Pokemon for the rest of the game. So we can go Boss's Orders, knock out this ZACIAN. If they don't get a Cape of Toughness, we can knock out the active one. And we're just going to be in a pretty good position overall. See what they decide to do here. We might see a concession from our opponent, to be honest. Either that or we might see a switch. We do have that Boss's Orders. They're really not in a great spot because they're not taking those active knockouts. Yeah, and there's the concession from our opponent. So we were able to overcome it. So we started off by losing the coin flip. That's completely fine. Our hands really don't have too much going on with it. So we're going to start off with the Umbreon V. I think that's just the better card to start off because Houndour is a little bit light, I should say. No reason to put the Houndour down. And let's see what they decide to flip up. They are going with Genesect, so we are going to be playing against a Mew deck. Could be a little bit difficult for us to deal with the way our hand currently is started. They don't play Marnie, so we don't need to worry about that at all. We're really not in a good position, and I think this is one thing that I do want to put out there. Mew loses to counter decks, like any other deck. If you're trying to counter a deck, Mew has a glaring weakness to Dark, so that's why we're seeing the baby Galarian Moltres deck come out. We see decks like Single Strike come into play, Eternatus, Gengar VMAX, and these are like where Mew has these explosive starts. So right now we're facing down a turn 2, 280 damage possible with Meloetta, or very probable Technoblast knockouts on our Pokemon. So as we have more cards in our deck or inconsistent cards in our deck, we can struggle here in general. I am going to attach to this Umbreon V so we can get set up a little bit there. I am going to search my deck for another Houndour so we have access to getting set up. We did prize a Single Strike energy. It's something we want to know. But Single Strike Urshifu VMAX does get hands like this. We do have access to Houndoom attack next turn with Single Strike Roar. So hopefully if Senor Doom does get a knockout, that they are able to just knock out this one, or that we do get an extra energy. We want to make sure that we're able to attach 3 energies in a turn because that's what's going to be required of us. Wasn't a good idea to attach the energy first on their behalf. They could have played some other cards first, but there's their switch. They're looking for a Mew VMAX, I think, and they have quite a few cards to make that happen. Oh, they're playing Crushing Hammer in their Mew deck too. I think that might be difficult for us to deal with too. Like, it's just extra things that we have to deal with, but that's okay. There's another power tablet, so they're plus 60. I don't think Psychic Leap we have to worry about too much, but we'll see. Here's their second Genesect. Great Ball. There's the Mew VMAX. So we are going to get Technoblast. Technoblasted. We'll see how it goes. We also have access to Rose Tower, so depending on what we top deck. So yeah, there's the Umbreon getting knocked out. They're not going to be able to play Elsa's Sparkles, so we might be in an okay-ish spot. Like, we might be able to draw 3 prize cards next turn legitimately. We just have to see what happens here. And there's Technoblast, knockout. So you can see Mew's coming out, knocking us out. They've started the prize card race better. Let's see what we can do with this Umbreon V and see if we can get set up. The Air Balloon's not bad because it does allow us to get set up a little bit. We can draw 1 card with Rose Tower. And it's better for us actually, if we're drawing 1 card, to not use Single Strike Roar first, because we actually want to see more energies in general. So we go Air Balloon here onto this Pokemon, or actually let's go Air Balloon here onto this Pokemon, just in case that gets knocked out. Let's go Rose Tower, and we missed it. So you can see that like we are big time struggling against this type of deck, just because we don't have access to getting the knockout. Morpeko would be awesome in this matchup, but you could see that like their start's so powerful. We're super slow here. We're just really in a tough spot now. Maybe they won't be able to get out of the active spots. They did use Technoblast last turn, and they cannot retreat with Mean Look. So those are things that could matter. There's their switch. So they are going to be able to fully knock us out again with Melodious Echo. So this is really where the matchup gets terrible for us, because they have multiple Pokemon powered up. So no matter what we put down, we likely lose the game. Now, we could get the knockout with Morpeko, then go Umbreon V. That might be a way for us to win it. So we do have access to send something up. We will be able to top deck a card. So if we do get a Morpeko in play, we could still potentially win the game. The Technoblast, not a great play there. They should have used Melodious Echo just in case this Pokemon gets stuck up in the active spot again for whatever reason. So we're going to try again this turn. So we're going to go Evolution Incense. We're going to waste it because there's nothing we want to be grabbing out. We could get the knockout here, actually. We could go 50, 70, 90. Yeah, we might be able to get the knockout with the Houndoom. So you want to know what? Let's go for Urn of Vitality. And before we do anything, we'll draw the card with Rose Tower because it still might be better for us to have the Houndooms in play. But we could still get the knockout. So let's see what Rose Tower brings us. Marnie's certainly not a bad card. Now, we do have to decide, are we going to be hitting for 50, 70, the knockouts? I think we end up going ahead and doing that. So let's go Single Strike Roar. Putting this down. We're going to go ahead, Single Strike Roar again, because we don't want to draw into our Single Strike energies, not be able to use Single Strike Roar. Let's go Marnie. If we avoid putting a 2 prize card Pokemon down on our field, we still might have a chance to win this game. We haven't attached for our turn yet, so I think that's really something that could matter. So let's go ahead, put that down. No reason for us not to attach to the Houndour. We might have free retreat out of that. Let's go ahead, put this Morpeko down. So we have access potentially to knocking out our opponent's Pokemon. We're going to go ahead, retreat here. And we're going to leave the Great Ball for next turn because it doesn't really matter. So there's Darkness Fang, knocking out the Mew with Darkness Fang. We're really just trying our best here to make it through. We do have another Single Strike energy. Like, we do have ways to make this happen. We have Boss's Orders. So you want to know what? We might actually be able to finish this game off with Boss's Orders. We only have the 1 Single Strike energy in deck, so we need to get an Urn of Vitality. But if we end up getting Urn of Vitality, we might be able to make a comeback here. So you can see, like, just by appropriately playing Pokemon down, we now have a footing back in this game, and it's just... I don't want to be like it's excellent play when we're dealing with nothing, but this is really where a lot of top players are able to come back out of games, and you're like, how did they come back? This is really how they are able to come back out of these games. So we're... just by Senior Doom evolving into this Mew VMAX is the mistake on their behalf. The energy there didn't matter at all either. So we'll see. I need to get an Urn or I need to get a Crobat. Those are really the big plays that we're looking for. So we'll see. How many switches have they used? They've used 3 switches. Oh, they're getting the knockout with on the Morpeko. They actually just gave us a chance to win this game. If we are able to get an Umbreon here. Because we have 2 in the deck now. I don't know why they played Fan. Let's see if we can just get it. I think we actually just win the game now, right? So let's go Quick Ball. Like, I mean, this is a card that we're just not going to play down. We go Quick Ball for the Umbreon. Yeah, I think we literally just got it. So let's go Single Strike Roar. Yeah, we totally just get it. Yeah, we could have got Crobat from the Great Ball. But yeah, we were just able to take this game because we played well around what they had going on. It's a game that I wasn't really expecting to win, but we're going to go ahead, retreat. We could have played down more cards too and made it happen. Let's go Moonlight Blade for the gigantic knockouts. We are going to take that dub against Senior Doom. Well played, homie. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. That's what we got going on for this video today, peeps. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing Single Strike Urshifu VMAX really being played to its limits. It's one of those things where I was close to scooping that second game against Senor Doom, but really after thinking out, I was able to pull it through. So a little bit of combination of some late game luck, some fortunate draws, some plays that I wasn't necessarily expecting from my opponent, but we were able to stick it through, showing how versatile this deck is in gameplay. So hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. As always, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more great Pokemon content. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out, and have a great day.
I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.